and then I say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm quite well. Let me go make sure that you are turned up loud enough. You are here doing a deck doc on your awesome Mina Ashido deck under Chaos. Hit me with the elevator pitch. What's going on?
Well, I got lucky enough to get 4 of the Award the Victors.
Oh, I see. I
So I
see.
was like, I guess I'll make Mina.
Okay.
Um, so, I mean, basically, it's mostly just for play at my local game store.
Okay. I love
And
that.
like super ultra competitive, just something fun to play.
That totally makes sense. I love all of that. So hit me with the idea, right? Like what attacks you wanting to trigger Award the Victor on? What's the goal of the deck doctor? Just trying to clean it up, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, just clean it up. Just, is there anything I'm blatantly overlooking? Or is it pretty solid all the way around? I just have not really had a chance to even put it together and play it yet.
That's
So
fair.
it will be what I am playing this weekend, probably.
Ooh, how exciting! How exciting. We're doing some quick looking real fast. I noticed you put some cards into your sideboard. The old classic one ofs. What's up with that?
There were just a bunch of maybes as I was trying to put the deck together.
Okay. When it comes to your attack lineup, what do you want to be what do you want to be award the victory if you had a choice?
Good grief. I guess it would come down to like kill conditions on any given turn. Meteor shower is not a bad one, but it can also snag itself out of the graveyard, so not necessarily. I mean, double jam pummel for progressive. I mean, I think the game plan would be the game winner for like an indiscriminate shock or a home run comet.
Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I think attack lineup. I think that you're fine. We're playing a lot of attacks for our 65 card deck. What is the goal with this number here? You're trying to cut it down, or you're trying to just polish 65? Right? What can I do with this number?
65 was my target goal.
Okay.
I usually run at least 60. I try to run like a 65 card deck.
Okay.
Seems to be the sweet spot of what I like.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds totally doable. Let's just talk about it. So the only attacks that I added were things like Frigid Heatwave, Giant Ice Wall, and Ice Storm. These are great cards to slam over and over again. Most of your attacks over here are ranged. Meteor Shower is ranged, as well as Indiscriminate Shock is ranged, and so we could mess around with the number of double jab pummels that we play. You're on a bit of a charge list at the moment with the double jab pummels, and I don't know if she needs double jab pummel necessarily. But there's an option here to play more of a ranged package, right? Being able to play Giant Ice Wall and then stack with Mina and then replay Giant Ice Wall to like stun for them is really good. Same thing with draw 2, stack, play, draw 2. Being like a 9 hand size, 11 hand size character, just feels pretty good, so those are options for you. But all in all, I think the only thing to do here would be to maybe cut some of these. We cut one pummel, and we cut maybe one home run comet, and then probably let it rock at 22 attacks. And if you feel like you're not drawing enough, it'll be fine. The biggest thing about having a high attack count is passing our checks later. But we've got Award the Victor, and we've got Mina in order to help with that. We've got Double Jet Pummel to help with that. So I'm not too terribly worried about it,
Right.
Foundation wise, you're playing a lot of 4-ofs, a lot of 4-ofs. What are your thoughts on that?
Those were just the foundations as I was going through EVS Ultra that seemed to synergize and I liked.
Fair. So I think League Interview, unless you're playing some crazy 6-diff, doesn't even need to be in your deck, right? Like, you've got Pillar Swing over here in the sideboard. If you were playing 4x Pillar Swing, I'm so down for League Interview. It's very, very cool. But I just don't think that it's necessary when we're just not playing this thing, or if we're not playing like 2 checks, right? This card is so crazy good in something like a Death deck because of the fact that we're playing Gale Force Punch. It's a 6/2, so either it becomes a 3 or your 5s become 6s whenever we're playing the Gale Force. So I think we can get rid of this guy and then do something else, do something different with its slot. Or even like put it down to like a 1 or a 2 of, right? I just think you're gonna have 3 of these out on the board and like not feel that great about it, truly. Thoughts?
I'm trying to remember. Are there any other 6 checks in the deck? I don't think so.
No, there's no other 6 checks on the symbol. If you're playing it for a 4x 6 check, like that's fine. That's a reason to play the card. I just don't think that that is, in my opinion, a good enough reason to run a card out of 4 of. That's how I feel, at least.
Okay.
So it's your call. We can either cut it down to 2 or we can slam it up at 4. That's I'm either is fine as long as you have a reason to do so. You know.
No, I don't mind cutting it down.
It is going to make this training with Gunhead slightly worse, because you don't get the speed on the first move and you only get to whatever double jab pummel once. But I also think the card is not that great to begin with. I have not I have not been a big fan of this card since it's been released. I think its only real ability is just the bottom enhance, and then the top one is just like cheeky if it happens. And you're already giving a bunch of speed on your stuff. I mean, the +1 speed is like good enough to make them want to block things. So I personally don't think that training is that mandatory. Like I would almost rather have Rock and Attitude in that slot, even though like it's a 1 diff versus a 2 diff. But you've got plenty of difficulty. You've got, I guess we don't have plenty of spam. We could probably increase this number a little bit. Yeah, we can increase this number a little bit. The other big card that I was a little iffy on was just Graceful Maneuvers at a 4 of. Because we're not playing the Cheerful Uppercut in our main board, this card in tandem with Graceful Maneuvers is very, very good. So I don't think we necessarily need Graceful Maneuvers. It just like, it's a fine card, but I don't think it's a nice to have, not a need to have card, right? I think it's like a 2 of, maybe like a 1 of in a deck like this. I would rather see something like Mall Day happen over like a Graceful Maneuvers personally, because this card just like lets you go and grab the cool pieces that you need, and she's like one of the only characters that gets to just ignore the I've added to my card pool thing.
Do what now?
So Mall Day says that add this card to your card pool face up or face down. After you check an attack, add it to your hand, right? So we can use Mall Day in conjunction with Mina. So this card gets added up into the card pool, and we pick something up, right? And then on the next move that we do, we just Mina and say it ignores progressive, right? And you just play it for free. And so
I thought you were mixing up Mina 2's static ability with Mina 1.
Oh no. No, it's on like 2 separate moves, right? You just kind of wombo combo them, but the fact that we have like a War the Victor, lets us, like, we could award the victor, pick it up with Mall Day, and then as we play this one, we check another cool thing, we Mina, right? Like it just like kind of lets us go a little Super Saiyan on our attack turn.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's and I don't think it's the best card, but I think it's a better card than what Graceful Maneuvers is going to give us on defense, right? Like we already have a Requesting Assistance release. We have Struggling Studies to pick up the bonus cards. We've got 4x League Interview, which is another like +2 speed on every block that we want to do, right? Like we just don't. This is redundant. There's a lot of this -2 speed on what we got going on foundation wise.
Okay, that's fair.
The other cards that I put in was just Frozen. I think Frozen is an insane card. It's very, very good, and it helps keep you out of deadlock because it's destroy one foundation : do a thing. And your character can play around deadlock, but this symbol does not do a very good job of playing around deadlock. I mean, we've got release, but we want to have an offensive release. And so giving all of these moves stun 1 when indiscriminate shock is like our cool kill condition is very cool. It's very good.
Yep. I had Frozen in there to begin with and then took it out.
Yeah, I think it is. Let's look at our block zones again. Yeah, Frozen actually probably hits the Award the Victor slot, or the Confused slot, and this might just go in your sideboard. Throws are falling out of vogue. And so we could just slam these in our sideboard if we really wanted to. Depends on what your locals are playing, right? It also is allowed to take up the Charged Up slot. And I think Charged Up is a fine card, but I don't think it's amazing inside of a deck that can't, like, recur that momentum back, right? So, like, I think these cards only really playable inside of Ochako 1, actually. Or Ochako 3. I think 1 or 3 gets to play this.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you'll just have a better time doing more proactive things with Frozen, personally.
Yeah, I won't argue that point.
Love it. We're gonna change them out. Okay. From here, let's take. I'm gonna go one more quick pass at my look here and go look at some spams. I want less than 2. The big ones we have are Precise Control, which is neato, and then I guess we have, man, Clever Distraction is fine, but it's not actually any better than what we got going on. I mean, I guess since we have gone ahead and put in the 4 League Interview that we can just play the 4 Training with Gunhead. I just think this card is so mid. It's fine. I guess it does its job, but, like, I just want it to be better at doing its job, you know? I just want it to be better. How do you feel about Fighting Spirit, and how do you feel about Maul Day? They are 4 checks, but they do some really interesting, cool things.
Yeah, Maul Day and Mina too, I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting Spirit.
Fighting Spirit says after you play, rival plays a non-character ability that reduces the damage of an attack, cancel it. Do you want to put my thing back to printed? No, you don't get to do that. It beats, like, You're So Obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I had it in there, but then I guess it doesn't let them reset Indiscriminate Shock. Doesn't let them reset Home Run Comet.
Correct. I was going to take out 2 Graceful Maneuvers and just put in 1 Fighting Spirit and 1 Maul Day, and then to see how you like them.
The Fighting Spirit, I don't have any issues with. The Maul Day, I just have a hard time trying to figure out if that's really going to be good inside Mina 1. I guess I'd have to play it and try it. Just
go ahead.
To see if I can get those shenanigans you were talking about, like trying to use it in conjunction with Award the Victor and Mina to do things.
The other thing that you get to do with this card is you get to the other thing you get to do with this card is set up for your next turn and kind of threaten your opponent, right? Like imagine like the last card that you play is like a Training with Gunhead or whatever, and you get to play it for cheap. Play a release as the last card, and then you check a 0 gravity lift, and you've already used Mina. Well, I'll just throw this up into my card pool and pick up the 0 gravity lift for next turn and be fine with it, right? I'm trading a resource on my board for a resource in hand, and that feels totally fine, as well as you've got the deadlock ability on it that lets you fuel up your meteor showers or your home run comets,
right?
Just accidentally. And I think it is better than not even like doubling down or tripling down, like quadrupling down on this graceful maneuvers, right? Because we have graceful, we've got struggling, we've got league interview, we've got requesting, we've got release, we've got first day of class versus stun. Like all of this says that my defensive plan is like insane, right? It's very, very good because we're playing like all of those other cards also at 4 ofs, right? This is a 4. 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 I just don't think we need 4 graceful maneuvers, and I'm just trying to like spread your net just a little bit.
That's fair. Like I just didn't find that many foundations in chaos that I just fell in love with for this deck.
I completely agree. I think the chaos is one of my least favorite symbols in the game, and so like I totally understand the struggle of like seeing that. The other option is we could take some of these other cards and make them a little more valuable, like take out 1 graceful maneuvers and put in a 2nd shock treatment, because this card's going to be way better for disrupting the plays as opposed to just all out blocking the plays. We could put in another irrefutable force of nature in that same regard, right? I'll commit and say, yo, that one doesn't work, sorry about it. First day of class saying that we don't have to play double jab pummel as our 2nd move, right? We could go 0 gravity lift into 0 gravity lift into double jab pummel into indiscriminate, because we got +2 to that check. So when we play our 2nd 0 gravity lift, it's actually a 4 diff instead of a 6 diff, right? If you want to do the math backwards. It also slightly rounds out our low blocks a little better, right? We go -2 on our mids but +2 on our lows, so 23, 18, 22. If we did an irrefutable and then a first day.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, these end calls have to be all you, right? I can give out the suggestions, but you gotta tell me what buttons to click.
Yeah, I mean, we can come down on graceful maneuvers.
Okay. I'm thinking of 2 of, and we got 2 cards to play around with. My suggestions are either like a 1x shock treatment and then 1 of either of these, or leave shock treatment where it is and then bump these both up by 1.
Shock treatment.
Shock treatment is destroy, commit 1 of their cards, or discard a momentum, commit 1 of their cards. It essentially turns electric jolt into selectively commit 2 if we want to. And the only other thing we're paying momentum for is to go grab other meteor showers. And so us having an on-board momentum out over and over and over again, I guess you have home run comment, right? But having an on-board momentum out over and over and over again feels really, really good.
Three. Guess we can bump up shock treatment 1.
Okay. And then if you had to bump up irrefutable or first day up to a 4 of, what would you think? Or put in something crazy like a rockin' attitude. Just like a random 1 of. Also a cool card.
I was running rocking attitude. Actually, I've got it over in the side.
Mm-hmm.
So charge instead of attack.
Says after you block with 0 gravity lift or electric jolt, or meteor, you just slam them into your momentum.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I think a 1 of is totally fine. Not the crux of our game plan, but like a neat little piece. We're still at 63. I mean, we have 2 more foundations we could put in, or we could just slam those attacks back in the deck. I don't know how you feel about that. We could just put this back up to where it was, but I just think you're gonna check a lot of orange.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a 65 card deck. I mean, that's just usually my target number.
Are you good at 63 then?
Yeah, 63 is fine.
Okay.
Like 60 to 65 is where I try to land at.
I think this is kind of hard because like I think you brought me like a pretty okay deck without the budging room of keeping this number high, getting rid of the leagues, getting rid of the trainings. I think that we got like a pretty solid, at least good enough to take the locals to play test, right? Like something
that'll be fun at locals that I won't just get my teeth kicked in with.
Right. I mean, Tim Keefe went and won a big tournament with the War of the Victor Mina, so there's that. Right. It wasn't 1,000 people, but like it was. I mean, there were killers there, so it tells you the validity of the deck, you know.
Our locals is like 12, so I'm not going up against thousands of people either.
Fair. All right, man. Is there anything on this list that you vehemently disagree with?
No, not at all.
All right, then we will shoot you the list over. Thank you for the support over on Patreon, and we'll catch you next time. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. Peace.